Morning, welcome to 1492, I want to say. Just coming through downtown Hudson, way to Silver Lake to take the Genesis in for its 7,500 mile service. And there's a Cayenne Turbo S following a BMW X6M. It's absolutely beautiful white X6M. So that was cool. Interesting to see those cars out when it's 7 degrees and snow and ice and salt, but that's what they're for. They're big four-wheel drive SUVs. So it was around 0 overnight. I don't know what the real feel is right now, but it's bad. I saw my breath in the car the whole way downtown till coolant warms up, flip the heater on, and we're pumping now. Alright, question to E53 X5 owners. When I was looking at those before I bought the 330, the cheap ones I found were the 3.0 inline sixes, and they all had listed that there were problems with the air suspension and the back was sitting real low, like less than an inch or maybe an inch of tire gap, right? Gap in between the tire and the fender in the back. So I take it then that suspension has air shocks or whatever that pumps it up when you turn the car on. So is that a common point of failure for that to fail and then an expensive repair to make the rear suspension work? What made me think of it is I'm on 91 in Hudson here, and there was an X5 going by, and it either had like 6 obese people in the back seat or the air suspension failed. And then everybody in the listing, of course, said, you know, I hear it's an inexpensive fix, it doesn't much matter, but the car's like $3,000 cheaper than it really should be. So I bet it's a bigger problem than people are willing to admit. There's the other best station on Sirius XM. Yeah, so his driveway hasn't been cleared off, doesn't really need to be. Four-wheel drive is fun. You see my slide? I didn't even have to do my normal 3-point turn. I just freaking spun it around and pulled it in. Anyways, I woke up a bunch of deer that were over here sleeping in the Pachysandra bed. They don't know what to do now. I see their legs, that's it. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? Oh, they're going back there now. And over here. Cop followed me like 5 miles. Surprised he didn't care about that. Oh God, that's cold. There we go. That's better.
Had to fix it. We had had it
There's
one
5.
other night,
7.
and I forgot how to
325,
do it.
He's making a picture of his 5 deer there, or maybe 6.
I think there's 7.
7?
Oh.
Not done yet?
So we got the car back about 5 minutes after I filmed that last clip. Paid the bill, headed out. In traffic on the way home, a couple times I stopped and it smelled like something was burning. Got the car in the garage, turned it off. At this point, there was smoke, white smoke coming out from under the hood. Not what you want to see when you just had your car serviced. Go out, pop the hood, there's oil all over the place. So it looks like Ron Marhoff or Hyundai made a similar mistake to what I did several months ago. I topped off the oil in the M5, I screwed the cap back on. There's 2 little things, if you're familiar with BMW oil caps, that then fit down under part of the engine, and when you turn it, it locks down both sides. Only one side got locked down on mine, so I had some oil bubble out and get on the exhaust manifold, which then burned it off. So I'm guessing Hyundai either started the car without the cap on there or were just totally clueless and spilled oil all over the place during the filling process. Either way, they got oil all over the place. Cleaned up the top half of the engine, drove the car to dinner after that. By the time we brought it home, seems like most of it had burnt off. So we're not going to make a stink about it. Stuff happens, but that's just what dealer service is. When you don't do stupid stuff like that yourself, shit happens. Nobody takes care of your car like you do. I would have gladly changed his oil myself if it were above, let's say 6 degrees outside. No, if it were warm, I totally would have done it. But it's anything but warm, as you know. So right now it's snowing. We've got another fresh 2 inches down or so. It's about 6 degrees. But I want to show you what I got in the mail the other day. Put it on Instagram if you guys saw that. But yes, I'm taking my craziness to the next level by encapsulating my M5 in a plastic climate-controlled, semi-climate-controlled bubble. This is the car capsule. It is the most advanced vehicle storage system in the world, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of a cover or encapsulation method. And my primary reason for doing that is last week or 2 weeks ago, when I took the cover off the car, 2 minutes later it had totally condensed. There were parts that were dripping down onto the floor. There's my primary cause of body corrosion. You know, I haven't driven the car at all in months. It hasn't been wet since April of 2014. Yet the rust spots that it does have continue to worsen, and they will be repaired in the spring, so it's not a big deal. You know, damage is done, it's just getting a little bit worse. But after the fact I have that fixed, I'm not going to deal with more corrosion on the body. So it would be in the bubble right now, except you've got to lay the thing out on the ground, drive the car on top of it, zip it around, and then inflate it with the fan. So that's going to require me, A, starting the car, and B, moving it out of the garage. I couldn't push it because I have about a 1.5 inch gap between the driveway level and the garage level. There's no way I can push it up that gap, plus it's too far over to the left against the wall. If I pushed it out, I'd scrape the whole side down the narrower garage door opening. So that's probably not going to get put on the car until next fall when I store it. I might test it out, just open it up in the spring and stick it in there and see how crazy it looks. But that's going to be the method. It's got a filter and everything, so it totally recirculates air. You're supposed to leave the windows down. You're not going to get any condensation inside. Only con is I can't control the temperature inside. It's going to be the same temperature that's in the room in the garage, which gets cold in the winter, probably down into the 30s or 40s. It's about as bad as it gets unless we leave the door open all day, which we do not. So that's going to be the method. It's going to look ridiculous, but I think it's going to be fun. So I'll probably be making a video on that either next fall or whenever I play with it in the spring or something like that. So that concludes Thursday for the most part. Last year I had the M5 over at my grandparents' house. Their driveway is the slightest of inclines. There was about 2 inches of fresh snow on it. It took me about an hour to get the car up the driveway. It just wouldn't move. You feather the clutch out, DSC on or off, it doesn't matter. It would move a 1/2 inch and then just spin. So I had to snow blow the whole thing. He was pushing, the neighbor came over and pushed. I had to go back in his across the street neighbor's driveway, get a running start, hope I don't slide and hit the stone wall on either side. It was miserable. So I tried the same thing in the Genesis today. Similar story, not quite as bad. Those are 235s all the way around the car, tire width, so it was a little better, but if I didn't get the running start from the street, it wouldn't have made it up the driveway either. Did it in the 330, no hesitation, no flash of the DSC light, it just walked up the driveway, no problem. 205 snow tires, 4-wheel drive. What a freaking difference that makes. Definitely keeping the 330 for now anyways. So that's going to be it. Tomorrow I'm going to go meet Joe at Beechwood Mall. We were going to go and play around, look at some dealerships up in Westlake, West Cleveland, but with 3 inches of snow coming overnight and temperatures down around 0, there's no way I'm going to go walk around stupid car dealerships. So that's not going to happen. I think I have a lead on the metal detector. I think that's going to be sold on Saturday. And somebody in Miami, Florida wants to buy the DSP deck and carpeting, but then I'm going to have to ship it. It's going to be a bitch. I may have to make my own box. So that's an update on that. But anyways, I'm going to go crawl in my new mattress. It's going to feel great because it's very cold. Watch some YouTube, do some emails, edit a vlog, and I will talk to you guys on Friday. Probably from the highway headed up to Beechwood. Okay, good night.